Hello and welcome back to Traffic Talks. I'm very excited to bring you part 2 of the Travel Talks, which is the podcast starting off this year. We have been suffering a bit in terms of being shifted between lockdown levels. So at first we were allowed to travel, now we aren't. Now there's special rules around traveling and things. And I do know it is open to a certain extent. My cousin does travel for business locally, so from one part of the country to another. You are allowed to travel by plane, but only for certain reasons and things like that. So it is allowed. But that aside, traveling is the topic. Today is, like I said, part 2, and this part is basically going to be about the weather I like to travel in, a couple of travel tips for you at the end, and today's official song of the week, which I realized I forgot to mention in part 1, but it will be the same for both, so it doesn't matter. But on to the first part, which is the weather I love to travel in. I do prefer hot places, so I like to travel when it's hot, meaning January, February, and it also works out well because it's my birthday in Feb, so that's always a nice thing. Maybe also September, October, those are also good months to go in terms of just me. December I find is very busy, so I don't like to go then, and November I'm like putting in all my effort, so definitely not then. Those are the good hot months to travel in, and I do enjoy my hot weather. I definitely plan on traveling in those months. Probably the opposite if I'm traveling internationally, especially the northern hemisphere. That's when I plan to travel in terms of just like leaving. But for the most part, like I said, I want to travel locally first and then broaden my horizons to the rest of the continent of Africa. I do definitely want to go to Mozambique. I want to go to Botswana. I want to go explore the northern western parts, if I can put it that way, because those are just really, really nice. And I definitely want to go to the more Egyptian side of the continent. Those are very fascinating parts of the world I want to see. Definitely want to explore locally, but also expand up north and go into the rest of Africa, and definitely hop over and explore the rest of the world. So I do want to be a world traveler, and I don't think there's anything that will stop me. I can honestly say, putting it out into the universe, I do want to put it out there, so to speak, that if I do find someone to be with, I would not allow them in any way, shape or form to dampen my traveling, because that's something I definitely want to do, not for anyone else but myself, which may seem a bit selfish, but I would definitely want someone who supports me in that. They'd either be like, you want to go? You go. I'm not going to hold you back. I just can't go with you. Or, okay, maybe hold off and then I can join you in X amount of months or whatever. That is something I definitely think I need to not make clear, but kind of, like I said, put it out into the universe. Because travel is definitely something that is important to me. Exploring this world with this one life we are given. That phrase rings true of so much to do, so little time. Absolutely, there's so much to explore. There's so much things we need to do to just kind of keep our heads above water at this point. And doing it is hard enough with COVID that hit. It was hard before COVID. It's gotten harder because of COVID. So trying to just make it through to the other end unscathed is already asking a lot. That's just what it is. Like I said, I prefer hot places, but in terms of locally, Durban, Port Elizabeth, those are very nice beachy places to go to. I think Joburg does have a very nice hotel with a world-renowned like water resort kind of a thing, so I want to go there. Internationally, I want to go to a water park. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I want to find one and go there. Disney World is also on my list. I also want to go to a lot of like island places, so places like Mauritius, Hawaii, Bora Bora, Bali, Phuket. Phuket is like number 1 on the list, and Phuket in Thailand. And then more general hotspots like California, Australia, those kinds of beach places. I'm not sure if I'm going to be surfing or anything there. I just really like the hot weather, the sun, the sea. That's my jam. That said, I don't have anything against cold places because I do want to see snow. I've never seen snow. I do want to go to a place that has snow, and I want to also learn to snowboard. So somewhere probably in like Toronto, Canada, or some place with snow that does have a bit of entertainment. That's not just like an icicle. It's definitely something I want to do. And one of the things that I did mention in my goals a few episodes ago and that I'm doing is working out at home. And with the app that I use, I can work out anywhere as long as I have my phone, because you can download the workouts to your phone and you don't have to worry about having internet, which is amazing, especially in times like this where it's load shedding, where you can get a workout in even if other things aren't working out. You still can. Making sure I'm keeping fit is a good thing, because when I eventually travel and things, 1, you're not going to be able to pay like gym fees and things. 2, it would be a waste of money. But 3, you can do it wherever you go with no equipment. So even if you're in a hotel room, as long as you have a little bit of space, you can exercise. Sometimes fancier hotels and things have gyms that you can use as someone who's staying at the hotel, so you can maybe go there. So there's a whole lot of options that are available to you, but also getting fit now is going to benefit me in the long run, especially when I'm traveling. Trying to definitely crack down on that habit. Speaking of habits, I've given a lot of tips for that, so as per usual, it's time for some travel tips. When you're preparing to travel, before you've even booked your flight, try to be open-minded about your times that you want to travel, because a lot of times places will have specials and they're really hard to come by. So if you don't have a set date for traveling, or you can play around with your schedule a bit, I would definitely recommend being flexible with when you want to travel, because you'll probably find specials in certain places that aren't available for very long. So they'll be like, one day only, we're giving this away. If you buy it this day, you get like a discount or something like that, and you'll only be able to travel between a certain date period. Being flexible with it is awesome. If you can do it, I highly recommend it. If not, be warned, you might pay a lot more. My next tip is to have your money ready and your leave days saved up. If you are working on a budget, try and have your money ready, because sometimes people put their flights and things on a credit card if you paying it cash. And by cash, I mean transferring the money instead of putting it on a credit card that's going to charge you interest. If you have the money ready, a lot of places will give you discounts for paying that way, especially if you EFT. Try and find places that maybe do that, or like I said, wait for a special. And the other thing was to have leave days saved up. That way, when the time comes, you find your special, your money's ready, boom, you can just book it, put in your leave, and be on your merry way. In your research of your holiday, you might come across a travel agent. I would highly recommend making friends with this person, or at least keeping contact with them, because a lot of times commission is their method of being paid, even if it's a percentage of a commission on a basic salary. Knowing you are waiting in the wings, they might be able to get you a better discount than what you thought, or they could alert you to certain specials, especially if they know what kind of a holiday you want, or if there's a specific place you want to travel to, they can hit you up and be like, look, this place is going to go on special on this day, let me know if you want it and I can help you. Try and find a travel agent that's going to look out not only for themselves but for you. That way you can guarantee you'll get the best deal available without being taken for a ride, if I could put it that way. This next one is more of a travel tip in terms of a hack, if I can put it that way. Invest in some things if you plan on doing this regularly, but if not, Google the crap out of hacks. Like, you will not be sorry. For me, I have invested in my bag. It is a carbon fiber travel bag. I bring it home, empty it out, wipe it and clean it thoroughly, and then take very good care of it when it's not in use. And then I do the same with my travel backpack, which is just a little backpack I use for on the plane. The travel bag goes in storage carts and then wherever. But the fact that it's carbon fiber makes it much more durable. It's got a lock, it's got a TSA lock, especially for that. So there's a lot of things that I would say do cheap, and other things invest in it, because it's going to work hard for you. Good luggage, I would say, is a definite investment. My first flight, I used a borrowed bag. It was a material bag. It was terrible. So I went out and got me a good bag for the next year. So investing in your suitcases is important. That's one thing I would definitely do. Tip that I actually wanted to give you was, aside from that, which is investing in certain things, other things you can do cheap. So for me, it was using travel sized items. I had already a few travel sized things from my Body Shop advent calendar. So I had travel size shampoo, travel size body butter, all those kinds of things, and it was very easy to travel with that. I did, however, see a lot of hacks on traveling, and One of them always recommended taking sample bubble bath tubes or trial size makeup containers and using those as travel containers. So especially if they have no metal in them, use them, fill them up with your own products, and then take them with. That way you know A, what you are using on yourself, but B, you know exactly what is in it. You aren't worried about, oh, this is some cheap generic thing that I'm buying and I'm using it. You'll know what products you're using, you'll know that it's proper quality items, and also when you come home you can just use whatever's left over from that and then clean them out for the next time you travel. That way you always have it. For this you can obviously use sample size packs that you can get. So you can buy professional traveling kit size holders, things. I don't even know how to describe it. But you can buy a professional kit where everything is like in a little plastic tubey or tub or things like that, where you can put all your different bathroom things in, and Ziploc bag that fits everything kind of bag, and use that for when you're traveling. So you can do the samples packs or the professional one. It's basically up to you, but some hotels give you things, but it's always nice to just have some of your own, just in case. I would definitely recommend you do what's best for you, as per usual. With me, I just use some of the sample packs that I have. For example, I do have a few small tubs from when I trialed a skincare routine. So I've got a small tub for a day cream, a small one for a night cream. I've got a toner and face wash, like small bottle that can hold quite a bit. So I've got that, and then I've got all my tubs from the Body Shop for my shampoo, my conditioner, my lotion, my shower gel, my body creams, all those kinds of things. So I'm sorted there. It's all up to you. If you want to invest in those things, meaning you're going to pay a bit more up front, but it's going to last you longer and it's going to serve you well, do so. If you just want to get the cheap stuff, go for it. It's all up to you. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you want to do. Last but not least, staying positive, even if your plans were shot down the drain. As per usual, positivity lives here. Like, this is what I do. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier, but positivity is always just better, even if it's not as easy as it may seem. A lot of travel plans have been put on hold, delayed, or just completely cancelled, and that's a crappy thing. But to put my positive silver lining spin on it, I would say plan better. Take this time and flush out your plans a bit more, get into a bit more detail, do a bit more research, see if maybe you can find your own hacks on traveling to that place. Maybe someone's done it before, you can watch a YouTube vlog on it or something. Figure something like that out. Take the time now that you can't physically go there and plan in advance. Take the time, maybe you can only go there in the next 6 months. Take those 6 months, find a side hustle to maybe make yourself earn a bit more money so that you can put it towards that trip. Having a bigger budget is always a good thing. Maybe finding other hacks to help you save money so that you can have that bigger budget for when you do travel is brilliant. I know personally I am definitely trying to save up more money this year, which I will go into detail in a later podcast. Shameless plug. That is definitely something I want to do. And also, COVID tests are expensive, and now you need to have them before you travel on a plane. Like, that's hectic. Like, a lot of money is being made for no good reason. Anyway, that's a rant for another time. But just having a little bit of extra money in your budget for when you travel is a good thing. And the other thing I would also say to definitely invest in and try and put more effort into is your health. Up your physical fitness, up your immune system, take your vitamins, exercise, try and get your body as physically healthy as possible. Not only to make sure you survive the virus, but so that when you travel, it's going to be easier on your body to adapt. If your body is already fighting fit, you have a much better chance of surviving this experience than previously, especially because like a lot of recycled air and things. I would definitely recommend upping as much physical fitness as you can, especially because there's a lot of things online that you can find, such as free workouts and tips and health and all sorts of things. Dig deep into that and don't be put down by the fact that you can't go tomorrow. Think of it like, okay, I'm investing in my future holiday. Yes, I can't go tomorrow, but I'll be able to go in 6 months, a year, whatever. And in that 6 months to a year, I'm going to get better health. I'm going to look up travel hacks. I'm going to find good luggage. I'm going to do whatever and go for it. Like a lot of things, flying is something that has definitely taken a knock in this pandemic. It'll take an extremely long time to get back to normal, even if there is such a thing as normal. Be patient. We may need to wait a while, but the world has collectively slowed down, and I think we should take that in our stride and use that to do the same. Slow down, regroup, plan your attack, and then once you've gotten all that in order, take a breath and then move forward. We need to realize that the world was very fast paced before this pandemic, and then it hit and everything suddenly grinded to a halt. There's a bit more freedom and a bit more time to do things. So don't worry, it'll all just work itself out usually. Besides, life happens when you're busy making plans, so plan so that life can happen. That is all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this 2-part series. One of the main reasons why I did make it 2 parts was because I'm trying to shorten these podcasts. I know they can be monstrous in length, so trying to narrow it down and be more specific and calculated with what I'm saying. So hopefully that has come across. I do know I ramble a bit, a lot. That aside, I hope you enjoyed this episode. The song of both last week and this week is Jason Derulo's Riding Solo. That I think is definitely my theme when it comes to travel, because I generally, specifically for flying, tend to do it alone. But even when I travel, I generally tend to focus on myself and taking in the experience. Yes, spending time with whoever I'm with on that trip, but enjoying the moment and really trying to emphasize to myself that I'm blessed and lucky, and whatever other word you want to use, enough to be in this place in this time and have this luxury, so to speak, to be able to go on a holiday, to be able to travel by plane, to do all these kinds of things. So like I said, I generally tend to focus on myself, but that's what I do. And I do plan on taking solo trips wherever I go. Not all the time, but it's definitely something I want. So this was the perfect almost theme song to end off this one with. I hope you enjoyed. I'll put all my links below. And that's it from me. Have a good week. Love you. Bye.